There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came for testimony to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but came to testify to the light. And this is the testimony of John. When the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" he confessed and did not deny it, and confessed, "I'm not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I'm not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." Then they said to him, "Who are you? So we can give an answer to those who sent us." "What do you say about yourself?" He said, "I'm the voice of one crying out, 'In the desert make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah said." And they were sent from the Pharisees. They asked him, "Why then do you baptize if you are neither the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" John answered them, saying, "I baptize with water. Among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. I'm not worthy to untie the strap of his sandals." This took place in Bethany across the Jordan where John was baptizing. Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel according to John, chapter 1, verses 1 up to 8 and from 19 up to 28. It is about John's testimony concerning Jesus, the Gospel reading for the third Sunday of Advent year B. This Gospel reading are selected verses. Verse 6 and 8 are from the prologue, where is mentioned about the function of John just to testify about Jesus. And then from verse 19, immediately after the prologue, the introduction to the Gospel according to John, then we have this testimony of John the Baptist concerning Jesus. And John the Baptist firstly answers negatively that he is not the Messiah, nor the prophet, nor Elijah. And then later on, he answers positively, quoting the same words which we heard last Sunday, quoted from the prophet Isaiah. "I'm the voice of the one crying out, 'In the desert make straight the way of the Lord.'" In this way, John the Baptist identified himself with that prophecy. And then we have a very important also another positive statement concerning last question, why he baptizes. I baptize with water. Among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. I'm not worthy to untie the strap of his sandals. This last statement, I'm not worthy to untie the strap of his sandals, by many scholars in commentaries, it is understood as a sign of humiliation of John the Baptist in front of Jesus. But let us see the biblical context, because the church fathers see it completely differently, referring it to the so-called levirate marriage, the institution which was taking care of widows. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verses 5 up to 10, we read about the levirate marriage, a provision in case one dies childless, then his relative, mostly the brother or one of the brothers in proper order, has to marry the widow in order to raise children in the name of the deceased brother. And in case such brother refuses, then the woman has to involve also the community, the elders. If he continues, persists in denying this responsibility, then we read from verse 9 what she has to do. His brother's wife shall go up to him in the presence of the elders, pull his sandals off his foot, spit in the face, and declare, "This is what is done to the man who does not build up his brother's house. Throughout Israel his family shall be known as the house of him whose sandal was pulled off." So the sandal which is untied or pulled off means the one who is not taking that responsibility, is not doing that responsibility. Similar texts, but a little bit from different perspective, we read in the book of Ruth, chapter 4. We focus on verses 7 and 8 mostly. And we read, "Now, this was the custom in former times in Israel concerning redeeming and exchanging. To confirm a transaction, the one took off a sandal and gave it to the elder. This was the manner of attesting in Israel. So when the Redeemer, in Hebrew we have the word Goel, said to Boaz, 'Acquire it for yourself,' he took off his sandal." So in this way, now we have the man himself takes off his sandal to give to another person in order to testify that he is refusing to that right which was, and also it was a right and obligation, and is passing it to somebody else. So, in such a perspective, the church fathers, being closer to biblical times, so living more in this biblical climate, they were able to connect it immediately. For us, which we are more distant from the biblical culture and environment, we rather forget about such a relation. And they understood clearly that this expression, "I'm not worthy to untie the strap of his sandals," could be even rendered as, "I do not have right to untie the strap of his sandals." In other words, I'm not the bridegroom to marry the people of Israel, because the relation between the people and God is as a relation between spouses, between God, who is the bridegroom, and the bride, which is represented by the people. And we see it even more closely in the third chapter of the Gospel according to John, where John the Baptist also makes the statement. They came to John and said to him, "Rabbi, the one who was with you across the Jordan, to whom you testified, here he is baptizing, and all are going to him." John answered, "No one can receive anything except what has been given from heaven. You yourself can testify that I said, 'I am not the Messiah, but I was sent ahead of him.' He who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. For this reason my joy has been fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease." I would like to wish you a nice day, a nice reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.